Hello, good afternoon. My name is Silva, and I am the Plan and Development Manager for the Visual Arts Data Services. We are a research center within the University for the Creative Arts. We're based in Farnham, in England. Sorry, it's a nice little town and place to work at. Here I'm coming to talk about the KAPTUR project that we are doing. It's basically trying to identify and select the infrastructure required to manage research data, specifically in the visual arts. So, KAPTUR is a GISC-funded project led by VATS. It started in 2011, and it's consisted in 4 institutions: the Glasgow School of Arts, the Goldsmiths University of London, the University of the Creative Arts, and the University of the Arts London. Even so, they are all arts related. There are institutions that they have different disciplines on top of arts as well. So trying to find the appropriate system and the appropriate tools to work and manage that research data it's a bit tricky, and as I will describe later. The main objective is to address the lack of awareness and explore the potential of research data management systems in the arts. And we are trying to do that by discovering the nature of research data in our sector, and by investigating the current state of research data management, by developing a model. And this is where the DCC has become a key player in helping us, assisting us, and us using their existing expertise to create a best practice model applicable to both the specialist arts institutions in the arts and other disciplines. And we are applying it, testing it, and piloting this model in the 4 institutions. The project started with an environmental assessment, and basically we have 8 informal interviews with researchers, and starting with them we realized that there were other issues on top of what we consider to be the main problem or the main question of research. And people not knowing what research data was, people not knowing what type of systems they were using, and we could feel that there was a big gap between what the institutions thought the researchers had and what they were actually experiencing. Later on, we have 16 in-depth recorded and transcribed interviews with same researchers and additional ones. And other issues or problems became more aware of that made the shape of the project. We started with a literature review and gather information from different meetings and events that we were attending, and we did our own research and it formed the basis of the technical side of the project. So the report outlined the issues of how researchers handle the research data. And basically, researchers were very happy to share their data. They realized that whenever they have an output, there's lots of research happening behind the scenes, and they were confident and very happy to share the data. They didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to reuse our data from other researchers, because the area we are at is a bit different from an engineering and social area of expertise. They weren't quite sure of how to reuse or how to cite that data. There were preservation issues. For example, researchers uploading their content in sticks in different places. Even though each institution has their own policies on data storage, they were doing it separately. And what the researchers want to share the data, but there's a caveat between sensitive information that data contains. And visual researchers document their research process. However, this is following a situated rather than a normative archival practice. So later on we did come up with a user requirements list, which basically selects the most important things that our partner institutions wanted to have in their own systems. And as these institutions don't have loads and loads of resources and loads of budget to spare, they were very concerned and very keen on creating the right solution using existing tools, using things that are already out there. And we came up with 5 key requirements, and those were the solution type, for example. It had to be an open source software that we can reuse, that we can install, that is sustainable, that we are happy with it, and that it does the work that it should. Storage requirements, even though we are not as big data producers as some other sciences, we do store a large amount of data, and we want to keep them safe and want to keep them backed up. Interface has to be user-friendly, has to comply with different sets of standards and the operating system depending on each institution. Basically, trying to address each institution's requirements from different points of view. The stage 3 was a technical review, and basically we came up with an assessment of 18 different systems, and later on 6 pieces of software were identified as suitable for managing research data. And these are data flow, displays, cprints, Fedora, ClickShare, and CCAN. The recommendations were that we'll need to select at least 2 different systems to provide enough functionality and enough tools for the researchers to manage their research data with confidence. The way or the method that we used was to, first of all, select based on the requirements of the list of requirements we have, select the software that fit within those requirements, and then run them and specify, depending on the priorities of each institution, what ranking against. So we came up to a final list of 3 pieces of software on top of the current software that each institution is using. Every institution in the arts at that point was using ePrints, or is using ePrints as their main institutional repository, and they wanted and they were very keen on keeping on using it, and perhaps having some other functionality from different places. So the proposed systems were Data Stage, which is part of a data flow project, another data RDM funded project. ClickShare, which is an SML software, and CCAN, which is a public foundation funded software. And finally, we created a costing model, and this was based on a requirement set by our steering group. They were very keen on the resources and savings and the costs of each system. And they want us to study and analyze the institutional against cloud hosting. So we created a little model that basically you fill in fields that are in blue, and it will make a rough comparison between hosting in the cloud and hosting in the institution. And it gives you a sort of idea on how much it will cost you per system if you store in the cloud or if you store in your own institution. There are lots of things that you need to consider and lots of caveats to this. So, for example, cost involved your procurement process, your other financial services, or other additional costs that were not included here. However, this gives you a good idea of how to, or whether or not hosting it internally or externally might be worth it. If I'm running out of time, really. So that's pretty much it. This is us. In case you want to have a look at the website of our project, and thank you very much for listening.